What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to set up a workflow, which is basically your automation. First, we want to set up a couple other things before we get started, because we might use those inside our automation. So we're going to go down to Settings, and we're going to create a pipeline. And this will be Demo Workflow Pipeline. Stage name is going to be Lead In. We can have a follow-up. Deal 1, deal lost, and we might do like a booked appointment. Move this one up and hit save. So now we've got a demo workflow pipeline, and we're also going to create some custom tags. So we'll do Facebook lead in, and that will be our trigger for our workflow. So you can set various triggers in a workflow. We're going to just use this one and add them to this new pipeline we created. So we'll go into workflows and create a workflow. I always start from scratch. It's just easier, and I know exactly what's inside my workflow. You can name it up here, call it demo workflow, and we'll add a trigger. Trigger will be Facebook lead in, and we're going to select contact tag. So once you've selected the category, you can add filters to find exactly what you want. So this will be a tag added, and it will be Facebook lead in tag. So now we've named our trigger. You can have multiple triggers to start up the same workflow if you want. So for instance, we'll just take a look at a couple of these. So call status, you could have a trigger for inbound calls coming from a specific place. It could be from a specific workflow. So if someone was in a workflow and then you get a call coming in, that could be a trigger. You could have email events, customer replying to a workflow, which I use that in another demo, showing how to move people to a new campaign stage. But basically anything you could think that you would want to trigger off of, there's probably a way to do it. So go through here and check this out and see if what you're looking for is available. If not, you can feel free to message support right here, and we will let you know if that's possible or not. But we're going to roll with the one we set up. So a Facebook lead in tag is added, and then we're going to add some actions. So here's all the possible actions we can add. You can see there's a long list of stuff we can automate. The first thing we're going to do is send an email, and all our email templates would be right here if we had any. So we could select a template, or we could just create an email on the fly right here. We want to set our from name and from email. Subject will be demo workflow automation. And then we could compose the email right here. So we could say something like, hey, and use a custom value. The contact level for custom values are your leads or your customers. The user is anyone on your team. So this could be you if you're inside your account, or it could be your employees. And then most of these are kind of self-explanatory here if you want to use any of these. But we're going to use first name, just testing this workflow on, and we'll use day of the week. Best, and we could put in a user first name. So that's going to be whoever the email's from on your team. And then we'll hit save. So now that's our step. We can also add a wait step or conditional logic down here. So I like to do wait 1 minute and then send an SMS. Again, templates would be found under here. And we can compose this the same way. Hey, first name. Just testing this workflow on day of the week. And you can always test these right here if you want to. So I could put in my phone number. Oops, I got to add the +1 here, +1, and send that text message. So I just received that on my phone, and that is good to go. And then I'll hit save. So now I've got an email a text message. I could also do a sales bridge if I wanted. So basically that's going to call the phone and read a whisper message. So we're going to put incoming Facebook lead, press 1 to call them now. And we'll put this at like 20 seconds for call timeout, and then we'll hit save. We could do some of these other things too. We could add them to a different workflow. We could set an internal notification on the app. So that might be something we want to do. Could be a notification. And we could assign the user down here, stuff like that. But what I want to do is update an opportunity. And I'll call this add to demo workflow pipeline. And then we'll select that pipeline we created. And the stage will be lead in. We could add an opportunity name if we wanted. If you leave it blank and you're getting lead data, it will just automatically pull in their name to that spot right there. So definitely leave this blank if they're filling out a form with their name on it. Source, you could put Facebook lead ad. If you know a lead value to add to your pipeline, you can enter that here. Status, select it as open. You can see there's 4 different statuses. So right now it's an open lead, and we'll hit save. So this is our workflow. Anytime a tag is added with Facebook lead in, they get an email, it waits 1 minute, they get a text message, a sales bridge call goes out. So whoever's on your team will get a call from the system. They can press 1. It plays a whisper message that says, hey, you got a new Facebook lead, press 1 to call them now. They do that, and it'll route to that lead. And then they're also added to the demo workflow pipeline. So that's basically it. And then we'll hit publish and save. Another thing I want to point out about workflows, if you want it to only run 1 time, that's the default. If you want this to run as many times as the trigger happens, you want to select allow multiple. So what that's going to do, say you got a Facebook lead coming in, and then for some reason they opted in again. On that second time, if you want the same actions to happen, you need to have this toggle on right here. If you only want it to run the first time they come through, just leave it off, and that's the default. You can also see all the task history of this workflow right here. So once this starts running, if people are coming through it, you can see all the execution details, what step they're on currently, and stuff like that. And right here is the status of the current workflows as well. So we'll just hit save. Now I've confirmed this is published and saved, so I can go back to workflows. I always just double check that it says published here, and it is. So now we can test this out if we want. I'll go into my contacts, and I'm going to search, pull up my contact details, and I'm going to add that tag right here. So we'll do Facebook lead in, and hit save. So now notice you can see all the activity for all the contacts that you have in your system. This contact has visited several pages, booked an appointment. I could leave notes right here if I wanted to, and all that good stuff. So now I'm going to go to my opportunities, and I'll select that demo workflow pipeline and wait for this pipeline to populate. So I should have put that as the first step because now it's behind a 1-minute wait step after the email. But I'm just going to check that that email went out. And now I'm getting a sales bridge message.
Facebook lead. Press 1 to call them now.
So you can see my phone's ringing. Hello?
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
And that's an option you can do too if you want to record calls. You can have it play a message that the calls are recorded. I'm going to hang that up. I also got that message. And you can see now I'm populated as a lead-in into this pipeline. So that's the basics of setting up a workflow. Once those are set up, you can duplicate them and then change steps if you want to kind of split test workflows or just save time when you're creating the next one. I could set up workflows based on a trigger, say I drop this contact here. This contact stage could be my trigger. So now this could send them a text or an email or a phone call, stuff like that. I could have stages in here. When I get a reply from this workflow, one of the triggers is going to then move it to a pipeline stage. So it's very robust. Pretty much anything you could think that you would want to build as a workflow is possible. So you can play around with it. And if you need any help, feel free to reach out to support through the support chat. But that's a basic overview of workflows. So hopefully this helps. As always, appreciate you guys, and thank you for choosing Legendary Leads.